Hey guys, welcome to Nerdcast where we nerd out about various topics. Today I have Pranit with me to discuss the future of handheld gaming. Hi Pranit,
Mm,
and of course
Hello.
with handheld gaming, I'm not talking about mobile gaming. We're
Yes.
talking about actually playing AAA gaming and
Yeah. So
from the
what we are
likes
going
of
to talk about today is like the you can say it's a kind of a revolution in the sense
yeah,
of gaming that you can have like PC games at just palm of your hands.
yeah,
Like you can say it might be a replacement to Nintendo in a big way because Nintendo have some, specific games exclusive to
yeah,
their, Nintendo Switch.
yeah.
But we are going to talk about the like Steam Decks and many other devices that came with it and how they can be a future of gaming,
Yeah.
of portable gaming, I must
So
say.
if we are talking about it, like let us look at the history of it, like where we started with really underpowered, Nintendo DS and PlayStation Portable, like how
Yeah,
underpowered, running out of, you know, like UMD, like DVD kind of devices that like what 480p resolution, not even 480p resolution,
yeah.
like we used to
Maybe
play that.
240p you can say.
Yeah, even that. And then with Vita, I think it went to 480p or something like
Yeah.
720p interlaced or
Vita
something like
2,
that.
I guess, no?
Vita, like regular Vita.
Normal Vita.
Yeah, yeah. And then there was a long gap between like another new handheld that could come into the market. And then we saw Nintendo coming out with a Nintendo Switch. But even that was very underpowered in terms of like what it can deliver. Like the most
Yeah.
graphic intensive game that it could give was Legend of the sorry, क्या नाम था?
Zelda.
Yeah,
Legend
Zelda
of the
Legend of
Zelda.
कुछ था नाम था मेरे
Breath
को
of
ऐसा
the Wild.
या Breath of the Wild या
Legend
Legend
of
of
the
the Zelda
Zelda.
Breath of the
Breath
Wild
of the
हाँ
Wild.
हाँ तो एक तो हम लोग इंडियंस है कभी निंटेंडो गेम तो खेलते आए नहीं इतने नाम भी नहीं याद
Yeah.
रहते but yeah so from that to now actually seeing actual mobile hardware like mobile processors as in Intel's and AMD's PC processors for laptops and all getting so powerful in a smaller device. So we can see how
Yeah.
AMD has revolutionized the same with their third as well as now fifth generation 5000 series. So
Yeah.
basically with the Zen 2 architecture, like the
Yeah.
way that they have revolutionized and how they can provide the CPU and GPU power in that small of a device
APU.
to actually be capable of playing AAA games. Like the title that we think about, like we if just 5 years back we go, and if we think about playing Crisis, we would think about getting an i7 and 36, 3080 or something. And now we can actually play
Uh,
Crisis at 720p on a small device and it will be playable. So
yeah.
that's the difference that what it has revolutionized now, what AMD has brought about.
Yeah. Yeah. I think most of the portable devices use AMD's
Yeah, right
the
now it's an
APUs,
AMD.
right?
Yeah, because AMD have a better APU
But
basically. Even if
yeah.
single core wise Intel right now had the lead in 13th generation, but then Intel doesn't have a good grip on their graphic side of things. So
Yeah.
Intel Arc already massively flopped, and Intel Evo is not actually that good as what AMD Vega has been able to give. So with that
So
in mind, the first device that would come in mind is Steamdeck. So what is your view on the same?
see when it announced, the starting price was $400, right?
Yeah,
But it was exclusive to some countries. It is still not available in India, let's say
yeah,
that. But okay, it was a good device, but what I think it was a kind of bulky device when I
yeah,
looked at it. I think I think Steam Deck 2 is already in production, but they are making their like efforts to actually reduce that bulkiness and making it in a compact fashion, right?
yeah,
But the best advantage they have is the Steam library.
yeah,
It has number of games, and that is the selling point of it.
yeah. So
That's it.
that's why they are
Even
able
if it
to.
doesn't have a
Uh,
720p screen and all that, like not features you can say,
yeah,
but
but what they are
still,
able to provide in that budget segment, just because they are able to subsidize it using their own Steam library. So the point
yeah,
is that if you are going to buy a Steam Deck, you have to buy a game from Steam, like Steam library. And what
yeah.
that provides them is an incentive ki chalo, it's like a console. It's basically ki you buy the console for cheap and then you
Consoles
pay
with
for the
a
game.
exclusive store, right? You
Yeah,
can say
it's
that
like that,
console with
like exactly. So it's like you buy the console like the same way how Xbox and PlayStations are priced. Like they are way more powerful than any equivalently, priced PC. But the
Mm.
point is that they are cheaper because they are just selling it at little to no profit, and then what they're earning it from, like selling of the games,
Exclusives.
exclusives and games,
Yeah.
like whatever third party, even third party titles, because they have a
Yeah.
commission from all of these games, like 30% commission that you get.
Yeah.
Steam
Yeah.
also has a 30% commission rule. So whatever you're
Yeah.
paying for games on Steam, they are getting 30% cut out of it. So they
Yeah.
are ensuring that there are more players, those who are they are giving a more an affordable entry point to the people who have not been gaming or who want to game but who don't have capable hardware in their budget. But right now they can afford at what, $400. Sometimes then on Black Friday it can be down to $300. So it's a
Yeah.
big
Exactly.
uh, what you call entry point to all of these people, and then they are going to earn it by consecutive
Yeah.
game purchases that people
See,
do on
even
Steam.
if you can talk about the store, but one more positive point they have is in Steam sale, the game just, have the great discounts.
Yeah,
Like I personally buy games on like not on the day of the launch, but actually I buy them on like Steam sales.
yeah,
And the price cutout that makes it affordable.
yeah,
See, those who wanted to buy on the day one, they have to pay the
yeah,
big bucks, right?
yeah,
So there is no point in denying that. But
yeah,
still, those who are like me, they might wait for something. Let's say, I think the when Steam Deck was announced, they said like the Witcher 3, you can play Witcher 3 on a 720p screen, right?
yeah,
Like Witcher 3, to run Witcher 3, it is a very like a 60 GB or 120 GB game, I think.
yeah,
I'm not sure, but it is around in between those two values.
yeah,
So like playing such a game in a very, compact screen, but in a handheld device,
yeah,
that's a very good news in the sense like, and most of the other companies are also, bringing their own devices
yeah.
and making better devices than Steam Deck also.
Yeah, so that's where I'm going to actually be more interested. That's the side of the industry that I'm more interested in. So they are like new startups that are emerging in this field. So the two that I will talk about are GPD, which is like making. It started off as making smaller, computers, basically just regular laptops with small, like mini computer that we mini
Mini
notebook,
computers.
yeah, mini notebook
Yeah,
that we used to
notebooks.
call them. But they even at that time they started off with Intel graphics or AMD graphics. Like 5 to 6 years back, they had a regular clamshell laptop, and but even that were like for gaming capable. They had uh, what you call triggers and joystick and the joystick
Hmm.
on the keyboard itself, which
Joysticks.
you can hold and while you are playing it. Now they have like shifted it focus towards handheld gaming in the sense that what Steam Deck is doing. And right now what you are seeing is that these startups are emerging with like 1080p displays, a better graphics, better like more storage, more performance out of a smaller package than even a Steam Deck. So Steam Deck has a pretty large screen of 7 inches. They
Yeah.
have like focused on what 6 inches, 5.5 inches, like what your regular phablet size screens are. So they are mostly focused on this like PlayStation Portable or PlayStation Vita size, which is like more portable,
You can say they are more
portable,
focusing on compact sizes,
compact
right?
sizes.
Like better because Steam Deck is, very
Very
bulky.
very bulky, exactly. So it's like around
Yeah.
this size, and you are getting in this size like more ergonomic also in a way, because it's like
Yeah.
lighter also, and like you can just play it in an aircraft or wherever that you're sitting, just backseat of the
Mm.
car. A kid can just take it out and play it at any time.
Yeah.
But the point is that these companies are not subsidized by their own app, like app store or app library. So they are
Mm-hmm.
basically dependent on whatever you are installing on Windows, and you are playing through that. So they have to price it according to what they can earn from that. Like they also have to be
Yeah.
profitable, right? So
Yeah.
like we see GPD even at around starting at around $850 US, and Aya is another, like Aya is another startup, Aya which has another like a lot of products like Aya Pro, Aya Next, and then Aya Air, I think, which Air is their cheapest one, but like one that is capable equivalently capable to a GPD Win or what you call Steam Deck would be
Steam
Aya
Deck.
Pro, and that would be around $1,600, like for a 2 TB model. So
Yeah.
yes, there is a huge price gap right now with what Steam Deck can provide. But what I am expecting is that with the if the market starts growing for Steam Deck, especially in countries like India and emerging countries and all of that, and if there is a boost in that growth, like the sale, then these companies will get the required investor that they want on the team, and then they
Yeah.
can actually be able to produce more, and then with the economies of scale, they can actually make the product cheaper over time, and then maybe this will
May-
also be in the regular, and what I'm hoping for is that if these companies get acquired by Asus or MSI or something, and then they can actually be able to use that, technology, use that mind to like the best way, and then maybe provide them at an equivalent cost to Steam Deck.
Yeah, but see, the one point you mentioned right now, say, like the two companies you mentioned, Ioneo and
GPD.
GPD, they are dependent on the third party software. The platform
Yeah.
which capitalizes most on gaming is Steam.
Yeah.
So,
But
and
the
Epic
point is that
is
you can
like
install
Epic is
Steam.
there,
No,
but
you can install Steam on these devices.
yeah. So what I'm
So
saying is, I'm not saying buy Steam Deck, but see, even this gaming industry gets boomed by the handheld gaming devices, right?
yeah,
Still, the primary platform of any gamer,
yeah,
or the platform which has the most number of games, is
yeah,
Steam.
yeah.
So one way or another, they are involved in this.
But on the other hand, like we talked in the previous podcast, what if I am not a team player? I'm a Game Pass player. I think an
Yeah,
INEO or a GPD win would be a better
yeah,
option, because then I can just play Forza
yeah,
Horizon on Game Pass.
exactly.
So I think a partnership with Asus or something, maybe even Microsoft, having like have Game Pass exclusive, have it as a Microsoft gaming handheld, an Xbox handheld device or something. Like in the future, if they work on that, that would be a great
Yeah,
benefit.
I think
Another
Microsoft
thing,
haven't done the
yeah, they have never
uh,
made an handheld. They've
they've
never made
never
a
done
handheld.
that, right? Like,
Yeah,
so they have to go through that development phase and all that
yeah. So
stuff.
they can actually
So
start by acquiring itself. That would be a
yeah,
easier way.
you can do that as
But
well.
another thing that reminds me of what Steam Deck can actually revolutionize. It
Hmm.
actually having another platform than Windows for gaming.
Yeah,
Steam Deck is based on Linux, and it is actually helping finally gamers actually work. Like there are a lot of developers at work right now that are trying to make Ubuntu and all of that work with games, like how
but
Steam Deck is working here.
this you mentioned it, right? Steam also have the games developed in Linux,
Yeah, so they
like
are trying
the
to transfer all of these, like they are trying to make their entire library Linux compatible. But what
yeah
that's going to do is then actually make even in the future, because Linux is Unix based, macOS is Unix based. You see where I'm going with it, right?
yeah
There is a high chance with this that in the future we can see all of these games actually be compatible with macOS also. And then there is
macOS.
another platform away from Windows that a gamer can go for. They can go for any Linux based distro or macOS. So like there is an option for the gamer.
So
They don't have
basically,
to be
you're
dependent
saying
on
there
Windows.
won't be any, operating system like concerns
Yes,
whenever
exactly.
someone
Yeah,
buys
so
it.
yeah, so it doesn't have to be limited to that like OS.
Yeah,
Console limitations are another thing, because that's a hardware
yeah,
restriction. But
yeah.
if I have my own hardware, I just want to play any of those games on my hardware. Now that hardware can be anything. So that's the benefit. So a macOS user can be a gamer, because the point is the hardware is capable of it. Like
Yeah,
if you look at what like an M1 device that came out, so M1 MacBook Air, its equivalency performance at Ryzen 7. The
yeah,
M1, like the M1 Pro that I'm using, it equivalent to a Epic or a Threadripper. So yes, the
mm,
performance is there. Even GPU wise, it equivalent to a 3060. There is
mm,
mobile game perform, like there is decent performance in there. So the point is games have to come over there, and for games to come over there, this compatibility layer, if they develop it the same way as Apple developed the Rosetta layer for shifting Intel based applications to x86 to ARM,
mm.
maybe this thing can actually help in quickly shifting uh, Windows game to any hardware like Linux and then to Mac OS.
Yeah, it can happen, but this handheld gaming devices, like they are not like you can say revolutionized yet.
Yeah,
Like they are in the very early stages
yeah.
of it, right?
They
They
have
have
not
to
even
go through
launched
like,
in a majority of the
yeah,
market yet. Yeah,
market. So
yeah,
see, I personally think is in India, even if you want to buy an entry level laptop, you have to pay around $700, which basically is 55 to
56,000. Yeah,
65, right?
yeah,
That is the entry level, which you get 1650.
yeah,
So if like Steam Deck, let's say Steam Deck 2 they announce and all that, okay. So let's say they eliminate the 64 GB version and they begin with 256 GB variant.
Yeah.
256 GB variant for $450. And if
Yeah.
they launch this in India, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, people don't understand that most of the people in India are on the restricted budgets, as
Yeah.
well as they cannot afford like paying 700 to
Yeah.
$800 for a laptop device
Yeah.
to play video games.
Yeah.
So if you have something that which is in your like palm of your hands,
Yeah.
and you have like gaming libraries of Steam supporting that,
Yeah.
so that anything is possible.
Exactly. Like, yeah, so that's where I'm looking at key in the long run. If it expands to India, the and especially with the startup, like the economies of scale come to play, things get
Yeah,
cheaper, and handheld devices become a mass commodity. Like in the next 5 to 6 years,
because
that's
see,
when you can
PUBG
expect it.
Mobile is still the game Indians played the most, right? Because
Yeah.
everyone had mobiles in their hand and
Yeah.
the game was like everyone can play it, right?
Yeah.
So if these
That barrier to
devices,
entry is removed, right? The barrier to entry
yeah,
for any, because any person who wants to play can actually just install and play. So
yeah,
there is obviously graphical differences and everything,
no,
but
that's okay. But the like the access to everyone, right?
yeah.
That's the thing. Like
So
in
even with
PC
triple A
gaming,
gaming, like
yeah,
वही तो मैं बोल रहा कि 10 years back a game like Forza or what you call Crysis would make you think of a device like चलो इसके लिए तो 1 लाख का पीसी लेना
yeah,
पड़ेगा. But now if these things get normalized, then like 35 to 40,000 में you're getting a capable enough device to play these games on. So it
yeah.
will
See,
bring down,
and
like, bring this AAA gaming to a masses, and then that might actually elevate the competitive gaming scenario in the future. Like if there are
maybe,
more
maybe
players to
not.
play the same, if there are more players to
Yeah,
play, there are higher chance of more players coming out. Just how it's all trickle down economies at like
yeah.
play. Yeah.
So one more thing that we mentioned Steam a lot, but there is another competitor like Epic, you can
Yeah.
say. They give not monthly, weekly free games, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to, let's say you're very broke at the point you bought the console and all that, but you don't have any games to play.
Mm.
There are platforms where like Prime Gaming has started in
Yeah.
India. So they started giving out some free games,
Yeah.
like bundles and all that. But still, like
Yeah.
you have something that you can play on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So even if you bought the device and you say like I don't have anything or maybe something to buy, anything like any games on any platform,
Yeah.
so you can always get free stuff,
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
to try out things.
Yeah. So I think in a long run, I would say that yes, this is an industry that there is a lot of scope in, but it's the thing that going to happen slowly. So we can't be really
Yeah.
hopeful in the short term.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Because the hardware improvements always take time.
but the
Like,
point is the hardware improvements are already there. It's just about
yeah,
making that hardware improvement cheap enough for them to be able to be sold, across the globe.
yeah. See, Steam is doing that. Like we were having discussion early,
Yeah.
like what about the handheld device? And the Guru pointed out that Steam Deck has a Steam library. That's why they're selling
Mm.
on a very the lower part of the market.
Yeah.
Like their base price is very cheap.
Yeah.
They don't have to go like $1,600 or $800 as a starting point.
Yeah.
Like I can accept that, but if if like Steam Deck to actually makes it like a very like decent amount of screen, let's say 8 inches of
Yeah.
screen, and they make they fix their ergonomically, the issue joystick and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So my Steam Deck might actually have a potential to capitalize
Yeah,
on
it
the
will. It
market.
does. It does have the potential for it. Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely does.
And the rumors has it that Steam Deck 2 is already in development.
Yeah.
Valve is trying to, improve it,
Yeah.
because the first one was, even if it is there, it
Yeah.
was very exclusive.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't get it, a lot of people got it,
Yeah.
but they had their issues, and it was their first try to sell hardware, I think,
Yeah.
right? So okay, but maybe we'll see some improvements in Steam Deck too.
Yeah. What finally one more thing that came into my mind, that what if in the future there's even more power in their devices, what
Yeah.
that can help is actually lessening the cost of your VR headsets also. So Valve can actually have this, like, right now, if you are wanting a cheaper mobile kind of a VR headset, then it's like it has the hardware integrated into it, right? So, but it's
Oh
like
yeah.
mobile hardware, right? Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 or something. So rather than that, it can just be dependent on your Steam Deck, and this can be a cheaper headset that they can actually sell with along with your
I
Steam Deck
think Valve can
in the
make
long
an
run.
ecosystem like Apple did,
Yeah,
right?
but a
Like
gaming
they have a
ecosystem.
potential, yeah, gaming ecosystem, you can say that.
Yeah,
But they have to capitalize their, or maybe spend more time on their hardware part of it,
yeah,
which maybe they are not really good at
yeah,
it, but still they can do that. So Valve released a VR headset,
yeah.
Valve Index, and they uh created a Half-Life game. I think Half-Life Alex 2,
Yeah,
something
Half-Life
like
Alex.
that.
Yeah, Half-Life
Alex
Alex.
2, right? Yeah. So they made something that the VR industry was dead, okay?
Yeah,
Like nobody was even considering that, but the game they created, they just showed the potential of what VR can do.
yeah.
So if they can do the same thing with, the handheld gaming
Yeah,
devices, that would be crazy.
really, yeah.
And
So
that
that's what
will
I'm saying,
be
that it will
like,
bring it back. Yeah. I
yeah.
want to just end it off with a nice, uh, it's just something that's going to make you laugh.
Mm,
I'm going to tell you about a device.
mm.
Logitech released this device called G Cloud. Have you listened about? Have you checked it out?
No, no, no.
It's a handheld gaming device that they have released. It looks like a
Mm.
small, it looked like a GPD win only, just without the keyboard.
Mm.
Basically, it has Snapdragon 7 series, or 700 something.
Mobile.
Yeah, and what it will run is it for gaming, it for playing like Game Pass and like basically Stadia. So Stadia to bandi ho gaya, but Game Pass and
Uh,
Nvidia like streaming service, and that is for $500.
See, Logitech makes good products, but
But this
I
was a
think they
really
are messed
bad.
up on this
Exactly.
one.
Yeah, exactly. So I was actually like listening to Liner talk about it, and yeah, it's just such a bad like set of decisions. Either they had this in motion before the Steam Deck launch, or however they just completely messed it up. Messed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think having the Snapdragon thing, because Steam Deck is now running like Witcher 3 on
Yeah.
freaking high settings, right?
Yeah.
On 720p nonetheless, but
Yeah.
still it is on
Or if the
high
GPD
settings,
or
right?
GPD is like running what you call
Doom Eternal or
yeah,
normal Doom.
GPD running Doom internal at 1080p at 60 fps, like a
Yeah.
low 1% lows of 45 fps. So yeah, it's pretty like, and then you are putting a Snapdragon 700 something into a device
Yeah.
just for cloud gaming, which you can already do on a Steam Deck also. Like it's not like you cannot.
Yeah.
So it's just a
See,
very
there are, the other things like when we saw the GPT and Aya, but there are also like, they're bit of costly.
yeah
But as he pointed out that like they need some kind of acquisition because they are startups and they need their profits, right?
yeah
Like of course there are some people, they'll say like, okay, like why would I spend $800 when I can get a 3060 laptop within $800? Like you're right,
yeah
you can get that, but we are specifically talking about the handheld devices.
yeah
Laptop is not a handheld device, you have
yeah
to carry the laptop, you
yeah
cannot just fit it in the palm of your hand and go
yeah
everywhere and game.
yeah,
No, this is not like that. This is a different part and different scenario.
yeah. It's just like the way people say, ki, why do I pay this much for a laptop when I can get a desktop for that? Like, you cannot
Yeah,
take your
exactly,
desktop to your
exactly,
college, right? People
exactly,
have to buy
exactly.
a laptop. People have to buy pre-built. Like when people shame others for buying pre-built, which I don't understand. There are people who don't want to build their own PC. Let them just do
Yeah.
that. It's the
Yeah.
long discussion that we should be having in another podcast
Yeah.
for sure. Thank you for joining us. We'll be seeing you in the next episode.